Hello, welcome back. Gather around. Thanks everybody for coming back. Welcome to another episode of the Professional Nomad Podcast. Once again, I am your humble host, Stefano. Thank you if you're able to attend the live stream this weekend. Um, Once again, we're going to get right into it. Got some more things to talk about. And we're going to specifically today be talking about Letitia James. It's hard to say things like this about my own people, but sometimes we have to discuss these things because we learn about certain things that get buried. And we need to know how they get buried, how they get covered up. And I think I might have just found something that was covered up by this lady, and we're going to talk about it. And we're also going to hold her accountable for this because the pot should not call the kettle black. All right. Now, if you don't know who Letitia James is, she's becoming very popular now because she is the Attorney General of New York that is trying to take the property away from Donald Trump after he lost his fraud case in New York. Now, why is this important? Because some skeletons have came out of her closet here recently, and we want to talk about those. So we're going to talk about one of them here tonight, which is a very, very important topic. It should be a very important topic to a lot of ladies because working in certain environments, you want to feel protected, especially by your higher ups, your boss. I don't like saying the word boss. I don't like my people calling me boss. So I don't like using that terminology. It makes me feel like I think I'm better than somebody. Right? But you want to feel protected in case something comes up because the God honest truth is that a lot of ladies are more vulnerable than men are. Harassment is a very, very, very horrible thing that happens to women, and yes, it happens to men too. Let's be honest about it, right? But more than often, it happens to women. That's why we have the Me Too movement, so that women can, speak up. They got the saying, "Believe all women," and the list goes on. We're not going to dive into all that, but there's a instance that got covered up, and I'm going to show you how it got covered up by this AG that prosecuted Donald Trump. And it's jacked up. Why is it jacked up? It's jacked up because as a person of color, I hate to see other people of color. What's the word I'm looking for? I hate to see other people of color treat people like they are less than. Put it that way. And the same attorney general went after the former governor, mayor, Cuomo, hard for harassment. The very same thing. But then when it came down to cleaning up her own house, when it came down to her own things, her own people, she supposedly conducted an internal investigation, but all of a sudden, the person who was accused of this all of a sudden resigned. He was allowed to resign. He wasn't fired, he wasn't prosecuted, was any of this happened. So usually when a person resigns, that tells you that he's well connected. And the person who made the alleged allegations about this man, this top aide of Letitia James, right? The person is upset about it because they want to know why she didn't pursue it like she pursued Cuomo, which led to his resignation as well. Which is why they have a female governor in office right now. So Governor Cuomo had to resign because of Letitia James, because she went after him with everything she had, all the power that she had. But she did not pursue her top aide with the same vigilance. I'm going to get into it. But first, everybody make sure that you hit that like button. Everybody make sure that you're subscribed. We are almost at that 200 subscriber mark, guys. I want to thank each and every one of you that tunes in, that subscribes, that turns on the notification bells, that comes here week after week showing your support, leaving comments, whether they're good or bad. I want to thank you. I want you to keep doing the same thing. Every week that we drop these videos together, it makes a difference. So please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you'll know when we go live. We can keep covering things like this. Please support the channel. As you see, you'll see the banner pop up here in a little bit, and boom, like this. Now you can see how to support the channel. You can follow us across all social media platforms. And if you want to donate, the Cash App is also in the banner below. Please donate, because in the future, we're going to be using money to help organizations take care of people. That's what the goal is. Yes, we need money to upgrade studio equipment. Yes, we need money to pay bills and do things like that. But we need to also make sure that we support the needy. And that's what we're going to do here. And I'm going to have a couple live streams to talk about these, because we need to make sure that we're playing our part. We live in the supposed richest country in the world, so we need to try to help as many people as possible, as many times as possible, whether it's in our own communities, in other countries, wherever it is. And that's what I'm all about here. And because we have a nomadic mindset, because we're nomads, we tend to venture from place to place. And sometimes we can see what's going on in these places. And if we see what's going on in these places, we can make a difference one way or the other, where we can lend a hand, whether it's physical or financial, we can do that. So let's make sure we do that. All right. And let's see who we got in the audience today. Let's see who tuned in. Gracias, Lakina, Bienvenidos. Thank you for posting my channels every week. It is very appreciated. Please make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, guys. It means a whole lot. And we're growing. We're growing. And like I told you, once we get monetized, we're going to offer memberships. And the memberships, if you would like, will automatically add you to the WhatsApp group, the Nomad Worldwide WhatsApp group. This will be a place for negotiation, a place for business, a place to collaborate. So please keep subscribing. Please help the channel get monetized and keep supporting the channel. I want to give a big shout out to all the moderators that come through here. Everybody that comes through and helps me do what I do here. I also want to give a special shout out to my guy, the Quiet Storm. Just know we're thinking about you, brother, and you're greatly appreciated. All right. Now, let's get into the content. I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to read an article that was written and put into the New York Post about this very topic that we're talking about right now. So give me a second. I'm going to share the screen. And we're going to get into it without further delay. Now, make sure I got it right. All right. Now, as you can see, New York Attorney General Letitia James blasted by ex-aide for handling of sex or harassment complaint. All right. Now, this was back in 2022. It is not 2024. Why have we not heard about this? This lady has been reelected. Okay, she's been reelected since this has happened. Why have we not heard about this? See, that's a problem. We'll also play a clip that shows her defending her actions on why you did not hear about this. So we're going to talk about this in great detail. All right. And we're going to read this article. And it says, New York attorney Letitia James denied any wrongdoing in the alleged harassment by her former chief of staff, Ibrahim Khan. Okay. Now, it goes as a former aide has accused New York Attorney General Letitia James of trying to cover up harassment allegations against her chief of staff. Sophia Keatonada, 33, told the New York Times that she was among the women. That means more than one woman. The women whose accusations led to the resignation of former James Chief of Staff Ibrahim Khan. All right. So, what does this mean? This means it was more than one woman. Now, let me put this into a perspective because I hate the race card and I hate doing this and I hate saying this, but it's the truth. And if this would have been a Caucasian person, we'd be raising Cain about this. We'd want this person out of office. We want him out of office. You know, and this is New York. So how has this been allowed to continue? I'll tell you how. It was covered up. It was buried, smothered, covered. All right. Like my favorite hash browns. Let's get back. All right. Sophia says, I find it appalling to see how the office handled this publicly, she said in the report Wednesday. Quintanar said James withheld the allegations against Khan in a bid to let him resign with his reputation intact, and compared the allegation cover-up to the AG's aggressive investigation to the former governor, Andrew Cuomo, to resign in disgrace last year, which means she didn't pursue it like she did Cuomo because it was her person. It was her person. This was her person. This happened in her house on her watch, and you're responsible for this. Letitia, you're responsible for this, okay? Thou shalt not throw stones in a glass house. And as hard as she's going after these guys, this is the same lady who had a campaign speech talking about the people in office are too male, too pale, and too stale. which now might lead to her being sued by the ex-president, former president Donald Trump. The same very woman said these people are too male, too pale, and too stale. You can read between the lines and guess what that means. The same lady that said that, right? Same person. I'll tell you what, let me make myself a little smaller because I don't think y'all get how serious this is right here. Because Cuomo had to retire publicly on CNN. They show picture of the man with his nipple rings. They just went after the man hard. Tisha James went after the man hard, but when it came to her own person, she didn't do the same thing. Right? So, Quintanilla told the Times that the married con, he's married, guys. The married con grabbed her and stuck his tongue down my throat outside a Brooklyn bar in November 21. And that, when she later told a colleague about it, the undefined woman began to cry. Sad. Quintanilla, who formerly worked for James as the deputy press secretary, but left in 2021 to become a campaign consultant, told the Times that the alleged incident involving Khan took place in November 2021 outside the Sunday bar in Brooklyn, Boerum Hill. You know how sometimes you go out with your colleagues and you want to have some drinks, all right? Want to go out and have drinks, and that's why it's hard to work with females sometimes, because sometimes things happen. They do. A lot of coworkers, they intermingle, they have sex together. It happens. Things happen. Okay, it's just the God honest truth. So it's kind of hard because you might misread something, and I'm not saying that that's what happened with Khan. Okay, but the thing about it is, he made an unwanted advance. He forcefully kissed this woman. And as she said, stuck his tongue down my throat and began to grope me, pushed me against the wall. Were they drinking? Yes. Yes. First, they were just chatting. I don't know how any of this led to you getting a sign of, I wanted to go home with you. This is why we have the Me Too movements, things like this. This is egregious. It's horrible. But let's continue. Khan allegedly groped that other woman and kissed her against her will. So he's done it to two people now that we know about. Two people familiar with the accusation told the Times. Quintanilla, who formerly worked for James as a deputy press secretary. Oh, no, I read that part. Okay. State Senator how you pronounce this? Zelno Marie or Miri was holding a fundraiser there, and Quintanilla went to reconnect with old friends and try to drum up business. Her pal Amy Bettis, who accompanied Quintanilla, told the Times. Here's a picture of James right here. Sophia Quintanilla accused, yeah, okay, we read that. Quintanilla said she and Khan talked politics over drinks at the bar, then went outside to continue chatting when it got too noisy. Because you know how it is in a bar, it gets loud. It's understandable. You want to communicate, right? So that's just what it happened. All right. Khan allegedly grabbed her by her shoulder, pulled her in, and stuck his tongue down my throat, she said. I know some people think all women like the aggressive thing, but I don't think this was one of those times. I don't know how he misread this, but it cost him his career. This is why you have to be careful doing what you're doing as a man. You just can't do that. Even if she comes on to you can't do that. Not in the workplace, and almost not outside the workplace, because uh, nowadays anybody can cry grape and say you did something, and they're gonna take their word for it and not yours. So as a man, you need to hold yourself accountable for all of your actions all the time, like I always say. Hold yourself accountable for these things. Therefore, you don't have to put yourself in situations that's going to cause you to have to explain yourself. You know, you're a married man. Why are you putting yourself in a situation that you have to explain this to your wife? You work for the attorney general. Why are you putting yourself in situations where you have to explain yourself to your boss? Don't like the word, but I'm gonna say it in this situation. To your boss. Why? You don't put yourself in situations where you have to explain things. It's important that people understand this. All right. She said, I don't even know how to describe the feeling, honestly. Just disappointed in someone that I considered, and here we go. Uh, I considered a respected boss, a former respected boss who just months ago, the Cuomo stuff just happened to. Now, this is very important right here. Why is it very important? Because if you worked on the staff that was responsible for getting Cuomo out of office, why would you go do something like this on your own? Hello. I mean, come on, man. Some people don't, common sense ain't that common. And it just goes to show you the mentality of some people, how they don't think about things. Because why would you put yourself in this situation after you just seen how they publicly humiliated Governor Cuomo? I mean, here's what it is. Please make sure you subscribe to the Instagram page. I drop videos over there, shorts. I drop content over there, so people can come right over here to see these videos, or you can watch the shorts on the feed over there. Also do the same on TikTok as well. We got a TikTok page. You can see it below in the banner, right? Make sure that you like and follow the Instagram page. Gracias la Caquina. I mean, men in certain situations in this country, the cold approach ain't working. The lady damn near got to hop on you. Okay? The lady damn near got to hop on you, bro. Being aggressive gets you exactly where this man went. And that's almost to jail, but publicly humiliated. Everyone does not have a boss like Letitia James who's going to cover you up, cover up the situation, and make sure no one knows what's going on. She's going to hide it. So let's get back to it. This won't be a long one, people. All right. And I was in pure shock. We just went through all of this with someone else. How could you think that this was okay? Quintanada, she said, immediately confronted Khan before going back in the bar. The Lord knows what she said to him. I can imagine the conversation. Okay. Betty said that her friend appeared upset and that Khan kept trying to speak to her in her ear, trying to make sure she wasn't going to say something. That's probably what it was. He was drunk. They had too many drinks and just kept trying to force the conversation on her. The women left soon after Quintanilla told Betty what allegedly happened. The Times said. Quintanilla said Khan sent her a text message the next day and that when they spoke later, he merely asked if she had made it home. Here's a picture of the victim, Sophia. He said she was one of the women who accused him of sexual harassment. So it was multiple. So this isn't the first time that it happened, but she was the only one that had courage to come and speak up about it. Not a bad looking woman, but I don't know how he misread those signs. I thought he was calling to apologize, but he just acted like it didn't happen, she said. Arrogant. And I said something about this last week about arrogance. Well, not last week, but in one of my previous videos about arrogance, ego. It's just not good. Quintanilla initially kept silent, saying there was no reason for me to come forward. No one was there other than him and I. There was alcohol involved, which means we were drinking. I was drunk. He was drunk. People are they're gonna believe that I wanted it, and I all of a sudden, changed my mind or something. I just thought, who would ever believe my story? She said. But several months later, Quintanilla reportedly shared her alleged experience with the woman who broke down in tears. And that's when I realized it's not just me anymore, she said. There's a pattern. I'm not the only person. So now she's building courage up to go say something. Quintanilla also blasted Khan's statement last week in which he said the AG's investigation of him found no official workplace misconduct. So, again, this didn't happen in the office. This happened at a bar in New York. But harassment is harassment. And the problem with this statement is some kind of way behind the scenes, him and the attorney general talked about this. He let her know what was happening. Hey, these ladies are saying this about me. She's about to say this about me. We need to do something. They came up with some kind of game plan because he was the chief of staff. He was the top aide. The top aide. Right? He's going around harassing the women in the workplace, harassing women outside the workplace. So before this can come back on Miss James, I guarantee you he went and said something to her about it. You have no other choice. You had to say something, because if you didn't say something and she found out, let's say by the grapevine, like we like to say here in the South, she heard it through the grapevine, it would have been a major problem. This article would have went a totally different way. He would have been ousted just like Governor Cuomo. All right. For example, how they learned about Governor Cuomo's alleged actions, right? And they're appalled by it. It's horrendous. Blase, blase, blase. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Now, am I saying that if Governor Cuomo would have came to her and talked to her about these things, would things be differently? I don't know. But we see how things turned out differently for her top aide versus Governor Cuomo, right? So apparently she's somebody you want to have on your side because there are more scandals that she's involved in other than just this one. And we're not talking about the Donald Trump stuff. We're talking about some other things where she's been accused of doing exactly what she's taking Trump to court for. And we're going to cover that. We're going to make a video about that and we're going to cover that. But she's being accused of the same thing, fraud, or assisting in the fraud as the Attorney General. And it pains me to say this because, like I said, as a person of color, when we see other people of color, we expect them to do right. And this is a publicly elected official. So 9 times out of 10, we voted this person in the office. This is why I'm going to be an independent from here on out. I'm not voting Democrat. I'm not voting Republican. I'm going to be independent. Whoever has the best policies. And I had a video where I talked to and saw Salty Balls educated me on that, and it was right. He was right. So shout out to Salty Balls. It's about the policy. Who has the best policies. And if we vote for them instead of trying to vote for somebody because of a race, you know, it was great to see the first black president in office. Don't get me wrong. Historical. Probably won't happen again, but it was historical. Okay. But we have to start voting for people because look at what we got going on with Fannie Willis down in Georgia. Look at what she's doing. Just because these people are the same color as you don't mean they're going to have your best interest. And it does not mean they're going to represent us the best way either. That just because we're the same race don't mean you're going to have my back like someone else might have my back from another country or wherever that might be. Because we all know in our own race, we do each other the most wrong. Just because we try to use that to our advantage. Please make sure you subscribe to my Facebook page. Go over there, follow the Facebook page. We're live right now on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Spider in here. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all simultaneously right now. All right. Everybody make sure that you follow me on all of these platforms because you don't never know what might happen. One day YouTube might kick me off here. You never know. And you need to know how to find me. We're on Rumble. We're everywhere. All right. Probably going to be on Truth Social next because we want to be able to keep it 100 with you guys. And we want to be able to speak our minds. And we can't do that if we're muted or constrained by certain rules. And it's not fair that I can only say certain things on here and I really can't speak my mind the way I can on other platforms. You know, in life, you have to follow certain rules, and that's true. That's cool. But on here, on this platform, on YouTube, certain things you can't say or they'll strike you down. They'll demonetize your videos. It's a very hard process. But make sure you follow us, and I'll update you if we create more pages. Like I said, Truth Social is probably going to be the next spot where we land at. Just because, I mean, it's Donald Trump's platform for one, but I mean, the way it looks, you can go over and say whatever you want to say. It ain't nothing going to happen. So we might end up over there. Gracias like Aquina. Let's get back to this article. All right. Quintana also blasted Khan's statement. Okay, yeah, we read that. To see how Abraham responded by splitting hairs and saying, oh, it wasn't workplace. It didn't happen in the workplace. Like that was supposed to make it better, she said. There's a picture of Ibrahim Khan, former chief of staff of Letitia James. All right. Mm. Now, here goes what's going to be the most interesting thing about this and the reason why we didn't hear about it. I mean, there's a news report on it in a YouTube video. I'm going to play that video, but that was it. That was it. New York Times wrote about it, New York Post wrote about it, and that was it. I haven't really seen any YouTubers talk about it either, so I think we might be one of the first, if not the first, to cover this. Quintanar said James withheld the allegations against Khan to let him resign without ruining his reputation. All right, we read that. James made her first public comments on the Khan scandal when the Post confronted her outside her Brooklyn brownstone Wednesday morning. So let's play that video. It's this one. Turn the sound on.
It was a private investigation, and it's important that we.
Hold on.
You knew about allegations of inappropriate touching in your office?
Because it was a private investigation, and it's important that we protect the privacy of the individuals.
Did you bury the conduct of Mr. Khan to help win an election?
No, by no means. We were protecting the rights of individuals, and it's important to understand this was a private investigation, which is separate and apart from the investigation that we did, Mr. Which was the former governor, which was a governmental investigation and a lawful investigation pursuant to a referral.
Is there anything you'd like to say about Mr. Khan's conduct and the safety of the people in your office?
Well, we're trying to keep it private, and as you know, the individuals were not part of our office, and it's important to understand that we protect victims, that we believe victims, and that we believe women, and that we do a thorough investigation. That's exactly what we did. If you ask all employment lawyers and firms, they will tell you that what we did was appropriate, and I would urge you to make sure that you get in touch with some attorneys, employment attorneys. And it's important that you also understand the difference between this private EEO investigation and a referral from the governor's office, which basically included the recommendation that we issue a public report.
Will you reinvestigate what happened to Angel Dubose back in 2017?
I'm going to refer you to the police department.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So basically what she was saying is what I said. Basically what she was saying is what I said. She basically heard about the allegation. The referral came from the governor's office. So people reported this incident to the attorney general. Like I said, would it have been different if Cuomo would have went to her and talked to her about the allegations? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Right. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt, Khan went to her. Then we don't have nothing to prove it, but I mean, come on, look at the differences in the situations. She crucified Cuomo, crucified the man when you didn't hear nothing about Khan. So clearly there was bias in this decision. It was a lot of bias in this, and it's horrible that we had to sit and witness this. Now, and it came up because of her investigating Trump, the same way the Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade relationship came up because of him investigating Trump. People always say, when you take a shot at the devil, make sure you don't miss, right? And she successfully convicted him. But what she did not do was make sure she did not clean up around her own front door first. Because all of this is going to come back and bite her. I guarantee you this. All of it. All of it. All right, let's get back to this article. Where were we? Sophia. Picture Khan. Okay, yeah, here we go. The Democrat denied that she hid the allegations against Khan to win her re-election last month. So there goes your reason right there why we didn't hear about it. Right here. You did not hear about it because it got smothered. It got covered up because she was running for office. She was running for re-election. And the last thing that she needed was allegations against her chief of staff to surface, especially against harassment in the office that she was running for re-election for. There it goes, right there. And she can say and deny it all she wants to, but here it goes. And she won. Do you think people would have literally voted for her if they would have knew what was really going on with her top aide, her chief of staff? No, they would have voted for her opponent. All right. Michael Henry would be the attorney general and not her. Henry has told the Post that James spent weeks in hiding because she probably, what is this? Because she probably feared that somehow the harassment scandal that she worked so hard to cover up would come to light. Once again, it was covered up. And it only came to light after she only addressed it after she won. So it only came to light after she won. James also, follow along. James also said in her comments Wednesday that Khan's accusers were not part of the office. Khan's lawyer, Fran Hoffinger, said, "We deny allegations of wrongdoing and we are not litigating this in the press." In 2017, the Post exclusively reported that a former employee of the city public advocate's office had accused Khan of drugging and of assault during a 2014 holiday party. So when you drugging people too, bro, you is a demon. During a 2014 holiday party at a Lower Manhattan bar. So we're probably trying to do the same thing to her. So this is the pattern, and this pattern has been going on since 2014, and it's probably still going on now. This is 2024. He didn't get in any trouble for this. He just lost his position under the Attorney General. He's working somewhere because he has a special set of skills that he developed that he added on his resume while working for Letitia James. Okay, but now we got another allegation of him here drugging and assaulting a woman during a 2014 holiday party at a Lower Manhattan bar. How is something like this not known by the AG who hired this man to be her chief of staff and currently has this person working in government in her office? She knew about it. It's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. That's what they're going to say. At the time, James was the public advocate and Khan was her chief of staff. So they've been working together all this time, and he's been doing it this whole time, and she's known about it. James, the then spokesperson, called the allegations by Angel DeBose an outright lie and said they were investigating the Manhattan's district office, which declined to prosecute. And the Department of Investigation, which reviewed and closed this matter. The Post removed the article from its website because it learned DuBose had not actually identified Khan as the person who drugged and assaulted her. And she said she had no memory of who the attacker was. So he got her. Through a nephew, DuBose declined to discuss the matter, as did the lawyer who represented her at the time. The city law department said Wednesday that the details of the DuBose claim against the city and public advocate's office were confidential. Another cover up. Another cover up, guys. There's a big office scandal, and the head of it all is Letitia James. Thou shalt not throw stones while living in a glass house. All right. In a prepared statement, James said, first and foremost, thank the women who came forward. Oh, this is so fake. Thank the women who came forward, and I want to assure them that they were heard and that I believe them. Here's where they say believe all women. This is where it comes from, right here. All right. Can't make this up. And she's so fake. And she's a woman leading an office that's probably the majority of the employees who work in this office are women. And this is how she acts toward those women. And then it happened again when she was elected Attorney General. And until she's held accountable for these things, she's going to continue to ascend the ladder. She's going to continue to run for offices. She's going to continue to do all this. And she's going to continue to have scumbags working for her because she's a scumbag herself. So, like I said, the pot can't call the kettle black. I mean, I don't know if they say that in the North, but we say that here in the South. And it's a very, very, very true statement because you can't talk about what somebody else is doing while you doing dirt yourself. All right. My office treated this matter as aggressively as every other matter that has come to us before our office, she added. Wow. 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 And this is the lady who is trying to take on Donald Trump. She successfully got Cuomo out of there. She went from Governor Cuomo to the Donald. And how do you think that's going to pan out? Let's take a look at this video of her talking about what she did in defending her actions in the cover-up, okay? Meanwhile, while we wait for the video to load up, please make sure you are subscribed. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trying to cross the 200 subscriber mark, guys. Thank you to everybody that has played a part in this so far. Please make sure you hit that like button. The more times people hit that like button, it invites more people in here, and we're trying to get all of the nomadic mindset people onto this channel. You have the freedom of will to watch whatever you want to watch out here, but I don't think no one's going to represent people like us better than I am. So please make sure you tune in, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and just watch and leave a comment. If you're watching this on the replay, please leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe. The majority of our viewers on this channel are not subscribed. So it's free. All you got to do is hit the button. Boom.
And now to some new developments tonight as Attorney General Tish James speaks out about claims she was protecting her top aide from allegations of sexual harassment.
CBS 2's Dick Brennan here now with the story. Dick.
Well, Maurice and Christine, James' chief of staff resigned last month. Now his alleged victim says James is handling the matter far differently from her aggressive investigation of former Governor Andrew Cuomo, and that she withheld news of it after her reelection.
We believe that we acted appropriately and decisively.
On New York One, Attorney General Tish James defended her handling of the case of Sophia Quintanar, who worked as her deputy press secretary until last year. Quintanar says she was the victim of sexual harassment from James' chief of staff, Ibrahim Khan. She says Khan touched her inappropriately and kissed her against her will outside a Brooklyn fundraiser last year, something Khan denies. She told the New York Times, "I find it just appalling to see how the office handled this publicly." She claims James was not nearly as aggressive as she was in her investigation of Governor Cuomo and was actually protecting Khan more than his alleged victims, adding, "Me and the other victims, we deserve the same vindication that was given to these other victims that she stood up for. It shouldn't be any different because it happened in her house."
We did a thorough and independent investigation without the conflict of interest or any impropriety.
James gave a timeline. She says she learned of the allegations on October 2nd, that she limited Khan's access to the office on October 3rd, and then hired an independent law firm to investigate the allegations, which she says were later substantiated. James did not disclose this publicly, which was about a month before she was up for re-election, in a time period that she ducked debates with her opponent.
I understand the appearance, but whenever there is an investigation, rarely do we comment on investigations. We do not want to compromise the investigation, and it was really critically important that we protect the individuals who were involved.
With calls by some for an investigation of James, Governor Hochul was asked if it was okay that her office did not disclose the case until after the election.
I'm not going to conjecture on what's on people's minds and what their motivations are. I'm simply saying that there's a lot of the situation is not very clear.
Asked why she did not make a criminal referral, James said that could still happen. Ibrahim Khan resigned on November 22nd, but he says he was slated to leave the office by the end of the year anyway, and it wasn't related to an investigation, he says, that found no workplace misconduct. Christine.
All right, Dick, thank you.
Boom. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, guys. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. We're live right now on Twitter. Okay. Look. She's up there stuttering, can't get a word straight, lying. Right. The reason this was covered up is because she was running for re-election. She got reelected. As soon as she got reelected, she let the guy go. He wasn't fired. She allowed him to resign so he could find other employment. Because if he gets fired, he can't get another job. He can't support his family. Right? But if this would have been us, we'd be raising hell about a Caucasian person doing this, right? At the same time, I'm not justifying it either way. But my point is, she covered it up. And we never heard about this. Because if this was so, then the minute she started trying to prosecute Donald Trump, all of this stuff would have came to light. All of it. None of this came to light. And like I said, I can't find a YouTube channel that has covered it. So I believe we're the first. I mean, people are talking about her, but they're not talking about her like this, right? Because this is probably the second scandal that involves her that she did nothing about, that she covered up. She covered up the one in 2014. Then she covered up the one in 2022, and she couldn't handle it anymore. So she told Khan, look, you done messed up too many times, bro. You got to go. And that's just the truth. All right? You've been running amok. You've been doing your thing. Now I can't have you around no more. This is what you're going to do. You're going to resign. I'm going to write you a little letter saying you're a good worker and you can go get your job somewhere else. Boom. Straight like that. Because I guarantee you, if you go research and you look for him, he's somewhere working right now. All right. Once again, guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. We're going to get off here. We're going to have about an hour talking about the AG, Letitia James. Now, we're out. Thank you guys. Bye.